Hello guys and welcome back to Car Obsession. Yes, I know I kind of look like a drowned rat. It is very wet today. You join me in the brand new Mini Clubman John Cooper Works. Now this is going to be a very quick drive. I've only got the car for about 20 minutes or so. So these are really going to be my first impressions. So let's fire up the engine. I've got a 2 litre turbocharged petrol unit and an 8-speed auto. It produces 306 horsepower. Right, okay, so foot on the brake. Oh, I must admit, that does sound pretty good. Right, so need to put the heaters on because I have completely steamed up in here.
I'm double steamed up with my glasses.
Yes. So yes, this is going to be a very quick drive. So apologies if this is not going to be the most informative review you have ever seen, because like I say, these are really my first impressions. And as you can see, the weather is awful today, so I'm not really going to be able to get the most out of the car. Right, so first impressions, I really like the interior. It is a nice place to be. You've got some nice mini quirks, like the door handles. They're quite funky, I like those. Ride is a little bit firm, but I suppose it's a John Cooper Works, what do you expect? These seats are very nice though. The lighting for the surround, for the touchscreen, that's also quite a nice touch. You've got a bit of ambient lighting. Bit boring, I know, because I should really be talking about their performance. I've got 3 different driving modes. So I've got normal, I've got green, a bit boring, or you have sport. So I've just toggle it up twice. Ooh, that's a bit Larry. So as standard, I have the all-4, which is the 4-wheel drive system, which on a day like today is perfect because the grip levels aren't going to be at their highest, are they? So yes, it's nice to have that extra assurance of all-wheel drive. I'm steaming up again. This is going to be a common theme for this video, I think. Along with the 306 horsepower, the 2 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine also offers 450 Newton meters of torque. That's 332 pound-feet if you prefer the old method. This car is more powerful than its predecessor, meaning the 0 to 62 time has been cut by 1.4 seconds. Speaking of which, 62 miles per hour is over and done with in just 4.9 seconds, and the top speed is limited to 155 miles per hour. This power is mated to all 4 wheels via an 8-speed Steptronic gearbox, which is new for the Clubman JCW. Interested in fuel economy? This car is able to offer 33.6 mpg on a combined run with CO2 emissions of 169 grams per kilometre. Not much in the way of turbo lag. The 8-speed automatic is slick, it's responsive, and it's a pretty seamless transmission, so I've got no complaints there. Now, in case you want to take control yourself, you do of course have paddles on the steering wheel, so it's just change down into 4th, change down into 3rd, foot down. Yeah, those are really quick changes. Brakes feel pretty strong as well. Not quite as meaty as the Focus ST I drove earlier, but the Focus ST and this car, they are different kind of cars for different audiences. Now the great thing about the Clubman is that it gives you the John Cooper Works performance, well obviously if you go for the John Cooper Works, but in a more practical body shape. So let's talk about aspects of the handling, such as the steering. The steering feels well weighted, feels quite chunky. Right, what is the feedback like? I know a roundabout isn't really the best test for steering, but let's see how we get on. Yep, steering feedback is okay. I wouldn't say it's out of this world, but the brakes are really good. Change down. That grip is also rather impressive. It's like I said, on a day like today, is what you need. Let's pop it back into D, so the changes do themselves. Let's pop it into mid, see how that affects the ride. The ride is still quite firm, but I can see no reason why you couldn't drive this day to day. And because of the 8-speed auto, this will be a very easy car to drive day to day. And it's great for if you want to have a daily car that is practical, but also has that, that added potency of performance. And it also makes a pretty good noise as well. I do really like the way how any John Cooper Works Mini sounds. The exhaust always sounds fruity. You get a nice few burbles and pops. That's always good fun. So with that in mind, let's go back into sport. Right, do need to be a bit careful down here because, as you can see, the roads have become pretty treacherous. So driving conditions today are far from great. But with a car like this, with the all-4 system, this weather really plays into the Mini's hands. Because you get that extra grip and assurance. I can still put the power down without ending up in a ditch. So that's quite encouraging. In this car, I've got a head-up display, which, let's be honest, is probably optional. But that's a nice feature to have. It means you can spend more time looking at the road as opposed to keep glaring down to look at your speedo. And on a day like today where you have to have your wits about you, it's good to have a head-up display. As well as the head-up display, I've got Harman Kardon sound system, and there's also a touchscreen with navigation. The touchscreen isn't massive, but I'm sure it will be big enough for most people's needs. I do really like the surrounding for it. It just looks really distinctive, very mini. What comes as standard and how much is it? Priced from £35,360, the Clubman JCW provides standard features such as LED headlights, 18-inch alloys, mini driving modes, 6.5-inch touchscreen with DAB radio, Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay and navigation, suede and leather John Cooper Works sport seats, heated front seats, park assist, automatic air conditioning, front and rear parking sensors and cruise control. The inside is a really nice place to be. I quite like the design for the switches. They're quite, I wouldn't say quirky, they're interesting. Well, yes, obviously, although some people do hate on the modern Mini, the brand has tried to kind of keep in touch with its retro roots, but I do like the buttons. Credit where credit's due. Through the corners, there's not as much body roll as I would have anticipated. Granted, I'm not really pushing the car hard because I've got traffic in front of me and it's very wet, but the body feels awfully composed in the bends. Yeah, the cornering is quite nice and flat. Now, I'll be honest, I was expecting a fair amount of lean out of this car, but yeah, I am pleasantly surprised. So to sum up my very brief drive of the new Mini Clubman John Cooper Works, I think it's a cracking little car. Well, it's not that little, is it?
It's not mini anymore.
No, Minis aren't really that mini anymore.
Mini
but
plus size.
Yes, so I think if you're looking for a practical Mini that has that extra bit of performance, yeah, this is definitely going to be up your street. The inside is a nice place to be, and because of the 8-speed auto, I really think this will be a car you could daily every day. Plus, you've also got that 4-wheel drive system, so on days like today, or if it's icy, you have that extra bit of assurance. So this really is a premium family car that packs a punch. So on that note, it is time for me to end. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If so, be sure to like, subscribe and to ring my bell so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.